Happy Friday morning to everyone. I think I have something kind of fun today. I've been tinkering with the query loops in GenerateBlocks version 2, and I knew that they'd built in some capability for handling looping items other than your traditional queries, like a post query. So now you can loop through things like advanced custom fields, repeater fields, ACF repeater fields. And I'd been digging through the documentation a little bit and trying to learn more about how, we have these new, I say new, an expanded set of these tags we can use. I guess you call them tags. Are they tags? Yeah, they're dynamic tags. Okay. So I had wondered about how this could be useful and how I could integrate this and what it looked like. And it is a little uh, complicated. It was a little hit or miss. And the documentation, I think, is a little lacking right now, but that's okay. The forums are posting all kinds of helpful tips and tricks and things for that help with this. But, and I'm sure the documentation will get caught up. That's a big undertaking. At the same time, they're working on the plugin itself. But I wanted to try to take the bio cards we did last week, and let's build a way for this site administrator to plug in social media links for each of the team members or each of our cast members from The Empire Strikes Back. And so I've converted our cards. So last week you talked about accessibility and we made the whole card a link. Well, now it just has been reduced to this button, Han Solo bio, Princess Leia bio, and we're doing it with these dynamic tags. We do not want this hidden. It is going to link to the post permalink. So if you want to edit it, we're using this post title tag just with the word bio next to it. So what we want to do is under their title, Smuggler, General, Jedi Master, any of that, right under that, we want to put just some icons for LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media platforms they happen to be on. So the first thing we need to do is, and I've already done this for some of them. We're going to save that. I'm going to jump over to Advanced Custom Fields. And if you don't know what a repeater, I thought there was a, or we'll go to WP Engine, then go to ACF. Yeah, so just to look at the documentation, most everybody knows what a repeater is. There are multiple, here it is. So there's also the flexible content that's pretty cool. But let's look at the repeater. So essentially it lets you have an instance of, repeating items. I mean, it kind of explains itself. So in our case, we're going to want our administrator to be able to enter to add Instagram, for example. It's going to spit out a row, select the social media platform, and then add the URL to that social media platform and add, whatever is necessary. Now, ours is not going to be like super smart in that if they select Instagram for the first one and they go to add a second, that Instagram will be missing from the list because they've already chosen it, anything like that. We're not going that in depth. But let's take a look at our team member fields. And I've already added a repeater field called social media. And I've given it the name Team Social Media because I like the prefix stuff. Team Social Media. And then my subfields are platform and social media platform, and platform URL, social media platform URL. Now the URL is just a URL field. That's pretty self-explanatory. So we're not doing anything fancy, like if they choose Instagram as the social media platform they'd like to use, that there's only going to be a space for them to enter the handle for their Instagram account. So the rest of the URL will be filled in. Maybe we'll do something fancy like that later. This is going to be simple. It's just a blank URL field. So they could mistakenly plug in their Facebook URL when they've selected Instagram. That's their fault. We're not going to worry about that right now. But here is the fun one. So what we're doing is advanced custom fields for a select field, which is what this is. It just gives you a drop-down field. Lets you plug in a value, and then a space, colon, space, and then a label for the drop-down item. So what we're doing is, since SVG is text, and you can do this in advanced custom fields, I wasn't sure, but it works. I'm going to open pages in a new tab, because what I'm doing is, so what do we have? We have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have Instagram. What do we want to add? Go to my components, because I just need to open a page so I can have access to the icons right here. So let's look at the built-in social media icons. Let's add, I want to add YouTube or X or Pinterest. What the heck? Let's give them a Pinterest account. I love Pinterest. So I'm just going to copy that, come over here, and I'm going to paste it in. And I'm going to put a space, a colon, another space, and Pinterest. And you can see it, they explain it right here. For more control, you may specify both a value and label like this. Value of red, space, colon, space, and then capital R, red. And here's the other thing. So you can choose what you want advanced custom fields to return when you grab this value, or you grab this this meta field. Sorry, I'm enjoying my donut shop coffee. So you can choose whether you want it to return just the value part, which would be the SVG part for us, the label, which would be the what's represented when you'll see the interface, or both, and it'll give you an array. And an array is just a single value that contains multiple values. Look up an array, PHP array, JavaScript array, whatever, you'll get the idea. So I'm going to leave it as both, because I want both of the values. I want both the SVG and the label that we've designated. So I'm going to save this. Oh, and you know what? I think I noticed on my interface, the presentation, collapse says select. We're going to say social media platform, just to make it a little fancier. Okay, so now let's go to our team members, and we're going to go to Han Solo, and I already have a couple set up for him. Let's add another social media platform. Han Solo is on Pinterest. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. And of course, cool thing about the repeater field is you can move things around. You can add things in the middle, delete rows, it's cool. It's a great handy field type for advanced custom fields. And I'm going to update that. Okay. So now we have Han Solo with his 3 social media platforms. I'm going to close that out, and it's going to fuss at me. And let's go back to our elements. Yeah. And we're going to go to the team archive template that I've set up as a loop template. for the team member archive. So if you're not familiar with elements in GeneratePress, it lets you replace archive pages. So in our example, I don't know if I went over this before. You can look this up in the documentation, but it's essentially, it lets you replace a WordPress archive. So WordPress will, if you create a custom post type, you can choose whether or not to have an archive page for those posts. And I've chosen to do that. So this is essentially a template replacing the team member archive. And I'm doing that by way of the GenerateBlocks query loop. So if I look at our stuff over here, I'm querying, it's a post query, but we're going to inherit the query from the template because the template, according to the display rules, is the team member archive. So it's going to know what to do. It's only going to pull or be activated, whatever you want to call it, when someone visits the team member archive. So that's for a separate video if you want to know about that. And there are other resources out there, but we're going to focus on building our little social media icon links over here with another query loop. So now the query loop contains the query block, a looper block where you can define, like, is it a grid or stuff like that, and then an item, a loop item within it. So in this instance, I made, these are unordered lists. So the looper is the wrapping element tag, whatever, that contains the loop items. So we've told it to be an unordered list in HTML, and each loop item is a list item in HTML. But I've still included a container because I like to kind of have that separate space. More coffee, sorry. Okay, so let's get on with it. The fun part, we're going to add after / I don't know if I can do, I might just be able to do a looper. See, I should have prepared for this better. No. I need a query. Sorry. Yeah, see there, okay, there's more you can do with that, meaning you can have multiple loopers within a single query. So you get crazy with it. So we're going to go blank. What is it doing? Okay. Query. Okay, there's my looper. Okay, so query, instead of a post query, we're going to do a post meta query. Okay, and it's going to feed into the current post. And for the meta key, what did I say? Team social. I did something wrong to make that not show up, I feel like, but yeah, anyway, let's add that. So post per page and all that kind of stuff. Pagination type. I'm not going to worry about that. We're not going to have more than 10. We'll go into something about that later. Right now, I just want to focus on getting these items in there. So for my loop item, this is the piece that's going to be repeating. So for the looper itself, let's make it an unordered list. And let's go ahead and style it. We'll leave it default. Oh, no. Actually, I want it to be flex because I want my items to line up horizontally across. So now the flex layout column gap, we'll do 0.5 rem. And we'll go apply it to the row in case we want to stack it for mobile, although I'm probably not going to do that in this video. Well, it is a list, not media, list. So let's say, let's type none, and we want the margin to be 0 on the left, and another 0.5, half a rem on the bottom. Okay, so the loop item, perfect. So let's do this. Let's add a text item. Let's select a loop item and the meta key, social media platform. Okay, here's the thing. Now remember, if I insert it, we're going to get nothing. We see that there are 3 items, but if I go and save this and go back and refresh, I think we'll just get a blank. Yeah, we'll get nothing. But if I go inspect it, we're going to see that it is rendering something. Whoop, I've got to change those 2 list items. So that it is, how do you say it, semantically correct? So that it's correct HTML. But yeah, so you'll see that we're getting something. Come on. Yeah. So that div is the query itself, I think, because it does wrap it, or the looper maybe. No. This is the loop. So this is the query. This is the looper. This is the loop item, but the loop item is blank. Okay, but remember I said you'll get. Let me see. I'm gonna probably botch this up. So we're gonna do this. We're taking that tag, but we can add a dot label or dot value. So remember I said when you have the repeater field, so no, sorry, the select field, the way we've set it up, we have both a value and a label. And you can tell ACF to either return just the value or just the label or an array of both. And that's what we're getting. So it's returning something that looks like this. And I'm not going to try to paste in anything. Icon, imagine that there. And then I don't think I'm doing this right, but something like that. I feel like that is not right. That it should be something like, maybe it's in brackets again. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. You know what? Let me just to make sure I'm telling you right. Hang on. Okay, so it is somewhat right. So that would be one item. And this would be the second. I can't spell. So anyway, you get the idea. You have a pair. This represents the value. This represents the label. Or it might be the other way around, actually, when it's returned. I'm not sure. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to use the tags that GenerateBlocks gives us so that we can pull either the label or the value. So I'm going to move this back over to my other window and jump back over here. We're going to edit this again. But now we're going to use this dot prefix and we're going to get the value. And lo and behold, we get the little icon. So I'm going to save it. And the preview isn't perfect, but and it works. I don't know why we have all that space. Oh, because it's a p tag. Okay. So yeah, let's change that element to a span. GenerateBlocks gives you so much control. And it may make you kind of crazy at first, but it's amazing. Because I used to have to, code all this stuff, and sometimes honestly it might be easier to jump into, write a custom template in VS Code or something that handles this rather than do it in the theme itself, or in WordPress. But it just depends on what kind of roadblocks you think you may come up against. You still can't do conditional statements, not true conditional statements, like checking for a value and returning echoing something based on that value, or not, or doing something else instead of that kind of thing. But you can get a long way with it. Okay, so that's great. We have our icons. Now we need to link them. So let's go back and let's make it an A. Okay. So now we need to grab, that is another loop item, the meta key URL. So that one we don't have to do anything special because it's just a single value. So we're going to open in another tab and do no follow. You know what? We do need to kind of style it. I don't want do the dark gray and tell it no text decoration. Yep. And let's see how that works. And does Han Solo really have an Instagram account? Okay, somebody does this, Han Solo. Okay, it works. So let's jump over and give Princess Leia some stuff, and just to see. Where's my team? Sorry. We'll say Princess Leia's on Facebook. Yeah. We'll do just Leia Organa. Yeah, why not? Update her, and let's give Luke some stuff. We'll say Luke is on Pinterest too. And he's on LinkedIn. Luke Skywalker. All right. So everything's working. So that's pretty cool, right? Okay, but one more thing. Since we like to be accessible, let's take a look at what we have here. And we pretty much have just a list element that has a link element with an SVG in it. And there's no, we have the link, but if we were to wave this page, 6 errors, empty links. Yeah, so it's fussing at us about these. So what can we do about that? Well, we know we have our trusty ARIA label attribute. So that might come in handy. Let's try that. And that is where, and I'm going to cheat. Excuse me. I'm going to copy. So remember we have, going to pull this over here real quick. So remember we get this array, and by default, when you're using the little tag builder that GenerateBlocks gives you, we can pick a loop item and a key of social media platform, but we know that it's returning this array, so it's going to give us both the value and the label. So using this dot notation, we can say, well, give me, oh, no, actually I want the label. So I'm going to copy that, put this back over here, And now let's go down to our advanced ARIA label, and let's paste in that. Wait, did I grab the right element? Loop item. Yeah, so that's the list item. Maybe I should do it on the link item. Would that would make more sense? Okay, let's do that. Let's do it on the link item. Target blank. Okay, so ARIA label, paste it in there. Let's save that. Okay, refresh. And now if I inspect this, we should see, yeah, ARIA label LinkedIn, ARIA label Pinterest, ARIA label Instagram. Okay, now let's wave the page, so to speak, and see what it tells us. No errors. Look at that. Okay, so now we have ARIA labels. So visually, we can tell that these are links for LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, whatever. But someone using a screen reader would not be able to know that. It would be much more difficult. They could probably tell eventually by having the links, the URLs read out to them. But now we've given them an easy way. And we might even add something to that list item. So that is the item. Here we go. So let's label this ARIA label social media links. And let's say we could have something in an ARIA label like follow. We could get fancy. Follow post title, which will output the name on. Okay, that's updated. So now if we refresh, so ARIA label social media links, and now we have. Oh no, it didn't work. ARIA label. Well, of course it didn't. Did I? Oh, I didn't hit the checkbox. I always forget to do that. Follow Han Solo on LinkedIn. Han Solo. Follow Han Solo on Pinterest. I love it. Follow Luke Skywalker on Pinterest. So that's more helpful to someone with a screen reader. And I guess I'm doing that right. ARIA label is probably really easy to overuse it. And there may be some things that are better suited for that. But anyway, the main point of this video was to point out how we can use this new and improved query loop. So now we can query post meta things like, and this doesn't only apply to repeater fields. I mean, relationship fields. I think the what are they called? The oh, good grief. Anyway, more of the fields that return arrays of data. Now you can go through those arrays. You can loop through the array itself, pull the data you want, and present it. And that is pretty freaking cool. So again, the query, you're telling it post meta, and you have to tell it what field you want to query. And that usually has to exist within a post query, which we're querying the team posts, custom post type. So then you have a looper block within the query block that represents the wrapping element that goes around the repeating items in that query. And then you have the loop item, which is the output individual item itself that is going to be repeated multiple times within the looper. That was clear as mud. And then you can put whatever you want within that loop item. And thanks to the cool dynamic tags that they built out, and you can even use this label and value. And there's probably other things in there that I'm not even aware of. I honestly happened upon this by just some tinkering around, trial and error. There are probably videos out there that explain this much better than this one, but this was fun. I couldn't wait to share it, and I hope you find it helpful. Uh, Man, we're at 30 minutes now, and sorry that took so long, but really cool stuff. Really, really, really cool stuff. Please like the channel, subscribe to the channel. I want to do this more. I want to do a lot more fun, cool stuff. Um, Man, I've been doing this for 25 years now, I think. Not WordPress necessarily, but I've been working on websites for a long time. If it tells you anything, the first websites I built, I was using tables for the layouts. So we're going way back, mid to late 90s. Yeah. So anyway, I have a lot I can share. Um, and in the comments, let me know what you think about this. Let me know some things that you'd like to see. Um, maybe some weird off the wall kind of things that you've run into and you're not sure how to handle. Maybe I've had to deal with it before, and I can post some videos on how to overcome the obstacles. But have a great weekend. See you next Friday, most likely. I think that's when I'm going to end up posting most of the videos. And I'll see you guys next time.